Pioneer fans, Pioneer men's Varsity Lacrosse is live and on the air. As we are quickly moving on to the varsity game, JV just won, but because of inclement weather, we're going to get going. A quick 5-minute break between the games. It was going to be senior night, but with the weather, they're not going to do that. They're going to try that on the Skyline game. Pioneer is now 4-2 on the season as they beat Skyline at Skyline last time they played 12-0. So we'll see what happens today. They lost to South Lyon East 8-6. They beat Huron 17-2. They'll play Huron again here on Monday as they played at Huron. They lost to Dexter 9-7. They beat Temperance Bedford 12-6 and beat Father Gabriel Richard 15-9 yesterday. So 4-2 for the Pioneer team. Taking a look at Skyline, they are 1-7-1 on the season. They lost to Okemos back on the 18th of March, 17-3. Game versus Grand Blanc was canceled. They lost to South Lyon East 11-5. Back on the 8th of this month, again, they lost to Pioneer 12-0. They lost to Plymouth at home 9-2. It was a 0-0 draw versus Saline on the 13th, so I'm not sure if that was a real game. It looks like it might have been rescheduled because they played on the 17th and lost to Saline 6-2, and they lost to Temperance Bedford 13-4. They did beat Chelsea back on the 20th. That was 8-6, and then lost to Huron 7-5. So we'll see what happens with these two teams today. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much for cheering for these teams wherever you are at. We are very, very grateful. We'll play a few messages quickly from the MHSAA, and then we will get back going. Here with the opening face-off, it's Pioneer Men's Varsity Lacrosse taking on the Skyline Eagles.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the specialized sports parent support group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Why do high school sports really exist? For 99% of the participants, it's the biggest stage they will ever play on, and it provides the most educational value, teaching sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, hard work, and teamwork. It's about playing with local friends against local rivals and creating lifetime relationships. They build community spirit, and they're worthy of your continued support. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As we're getting ready to go here at Pioneer Hallway Field, it is the crosstown rivalry. Pioneer men's varsity lacrosse taking on the Skyline Eagles. As 12 minutes up on the clock again, because it is not a lovely weather day. It's been raining throughout most of the day. Good hearty crowd out here. Lots of folks who have their umbrellas and are good sitting out in the weather. We appreciate that. Of course, we know the players are nice and tough, but we're getting going fairly quickly without all the announcing of the rosters and things of that nature. They're just going to get themselves going now. So the officials talking to the captains out there. And then we will momentarily get ourselves going. As Pioneer is in their home whites, they have the white tops, the numbers in purple on the front and on the back. Pioneer in script lettering on the front, the white shorts. Skyline is in the dark blue, as they have numbers on white on the front and on the back. They have Skyline in block lettering on the front and the dark blue pants with a light blue and white strips down the side. Pioneer heads out onto the field. As the starters line up, as Ganger is out there, Latch, Miller, Beaupre, Donovan, Houston, Grieshaber, Paul McDonald, Conley, and McDonald out there for Pioneer. On the other side, it is 28, who I don't have. One is Vulicevic. Number 24 for them is Pasturo. Number 9 is Nico DeYoung. Number 15 is Bagozo. Number 10 is Lucas DeYoung. Number 11 is Anand. Number 7 is Rogers for Skyline. And I am just trying to see. There's one person in front of Rogers.
Nico DeYoung. Number 15, Ben Bagozo. Number 10.
And that is Shearer.
Number 11, Mihir Hassan.
And that would be number 4, who I don't have on my roster.
Number 2, Vulicevic.
So Vulicevic out there. So last one's number 4, who I do not have on my roster.
Last player is number 4, who we do not have a name for. If someone wants to come volunteer that to the booth.
Any idea number 26 who that is? Because that's going to be our 20, what is that, the keeper? Is that 26 or 28? 24. Yeah. If he would turn just a little bit. 28, I don't have a number 28 on my roster. Yeah. All right, as we're ready to go. Again, the keeper is number 28. I don't have that on my roster. 26 is Ham. So we'll see. And then there was number 4 we don't have on our roster. As that ball popped up in the air, trying to get it is Donovan. As that comes over to the far side, Beaupre trying to rake it up. But battling with Bagozo. There is a whistle, and that's going to be a procedure call. Pioneer will have the ball as they'll start off 11:48. Jogging ahead with it, Beaupre coming down the hash marks into the offensive zone. Beaupre sets up on the near wing just inside the numbers. Beaupre flips it back into the midfield area to German. German over on the far side. Coming up with it is Ayudi Price. Ayudi Price down. Now flip back behind the goal line extended. Out in front, there's a shot by Beaupre. Running it out is Ganger. That will be Pioneers' ball. Ganger will start on the end line. Ganger gets a screen from Latch. Ganger, even with the goal on the near wing. That over to IUD Price. IUD Price back into the midfield area. Over to Beaupre. Beaupre gets it to German. German running down the far hash mark. Spins with it. German trying to get in. Shot there. And a goal as German gets Pioneer on the board early at 11:08.
Your goal, number 16, Jack German, at 11:08 remaining in the first quarter.
So as we mentioned, one of the many hockey players who is on this lacrosse team, German, had a great season with Pioneer men's hockey, and appreciate all the wonderful players who play multiple sports out there. A couple football players as well, a couple linemen playing heavy defense. And a former, and the assistant coach, a former Pioneer quarterback, Nate Uhas out there. Donovan gets it into the offensive zone. That ball loose, trying to pick it up. Here comes Skyline and coming down the near wing. And it's a garage sale. He loses his stick. Latch has it. Latch takes it, gets between the hash marks. Latch fires it and in. There is a flag. And yep, they do say goal. So goal for Latch and the penalty.
Pioneer goal, number 5, Jet Latch. 10:49 remaining, first quarter.
Looks like Anand is going over. Well, nope, he's staying over there. I don't see anyone taking a knee, but again, they did. So what that's going to do is it's a penalty. That means Pioneer is going to get possession without a face-off. Or no, they waved, so it looks like it's an inadvertent flag. Inadvertent flag. So
It's been waved off. There's no penalty on the play.
as set up for the and in there versus Donovan for the face-off. Pioneer up 2-0 whistle there. That's going to be Skyline ball on procedural penalty. So Anand gets things going at the block A. Anand coming down between the hash marks, flips it over onto the near wing into the offensive zone, as that was over there. Bradwash back behind, fired out in front, trying to get to Lucas DeYoung. That ball all the way back towards midfield, raked up by Anand. Anand, watched by Donovan, flips it over onto the far wing, as that's Lucas DeYoung over there. Donovan comes over to mark him. Lucas DeYoung now heads between the hash marks, over the restraining line, coming down the far hash marks. Lucas DeYoung, shot there, that blocked away. Grabbed by Grieshaber. Grieshaber gets it over to McDonald. 10-11 left to go. 2-0 Pioneer with the lead. As that ball fired by the keeper up ahead to Latch. Latch making his way over midfield. Latch coming down between the hash marks. Moves it over onto the near wing. That grab by Lon. Lon is inside the number. Sends it back to the top of the offensive zone to IUD Price. IUD Price gets it to Beaupre. He's in the midfield area about 5 yards outside of the restraining line. Back over. Now on the near wing to IUD Price, waiting for substitutions to come in. As Wood comes in for Pioneer on the substitution. Beaupre gets it over to Wood on the far hash marks. Back to Beaupre. Beaupre gets a running start over the restraining line. Beaupre coming down the far hash mark. Sidearm shot at a goal. Beaupre puts it in for a 3-0 lead for Pioneer at 9:26.
Pioneer goal, number 2, Will Beaupre. 9:26 remaining, first quarter.
And Ann coming in to take the draw. Brad Warsh on the near wing. Joined over there by Batista. Over on the far wing is Houston. That ball over, raked up by Donovan. Donovan into the offensive zone, over to Latch. Latch on the near wing. Latch heads to the top of the offensive zone. Latch on the numbers, waiting for substitutions as Donovan goes off. Coming in is IUD Price as well as Jof. Jof Flips it over to IUD Price. IUD Price on the far hash marks over the restraining line. IUD Price trying to come down the far wing. Spins between the hash marks. Flips it back behind the goal. Now over to Latch. Latch over the goal line extended. Latch curls in. Sidearm shot and a good save by 28, the keeper. Flag there. So Jove goes out. Coming in for Jove is Beaupre. And it looks like Bagozo's going to take a knee. So Pioneer will be man up. Did not see what the penalty was.
Penalties on number 15, Ben Bagozo. Slashing 1 minute.
So slashing, Pioneer, a man up for a minute, is over to Beaupre. Beaupre gets it back to IUD Price, top of the offensive zone. Sidearm shot. Big time save by 28, the keeper for Skyline, trying to feed it ahead. That over midfield, raked up, and coming down the near wing, Paul McDonald. Paul McDonald loses it, trying to get it back, trying to get around Bradwash. Is coming in, Paul McDonald, shot that just goes wide, run out by Latch. Pioneer maintains possession on the run out. 3-0, Pioneer with the lead, 8:20 left to go here in the first. Latch brings it from the outside, fires it back to the top of the offensive zone. German gets it over to IUD Price. IUD Price over on the near wing to Beaupre. Back to Latch, back behind the goal line extended. Latch flips it between shot and a goal, as that was Ganger with the goal. And at 8:04,
Pioneer goal by number 26, Ben Ganger, assisted by number 5, Jet Latch.
so Latch with a beautiful assist to Ganger, who puts it in. Pioneer goes up 4-0, as they're averaging a goal a minute at this point. It's the old Yost point-a-minute teams. Ball set for the draw. An and in there versus Donovan. So they get that ball set just above where the blockades come together. Nice thing about a field turf here is we don't have to move it. The old Bedford Soccer Lacrosse Stadium, that face-off area would get so messed up they'd have to move it up or down. That's something we have to worry about with this gorgeous field here at Pioneer. They've now moved to the football field at Bedford as well. That ball back, Joff rakes it up. Joff coming down the far hash marks over midfield. Joff trying to make it over the restraining line. Nice spin move. Joff top of the offensive zone. Joff comes back to the restraining line on the near hash marks. Joff with it. Joff cuts towards the goal. Fakes it, now steps back. Substitutions coming in as Kyle Brady comes in for Pioneer. Now UD Price over on the far wing. That's sent back to Ganger. Ganger over to Latch on the end line. Latch spins. That ball loose. Raked up by the keeper for Skyline. So that ball coming down. We'll call it hand. I had Ham as 26 on my roster. We'll say that's hand on 28. That ball loose in the Skyline offensive zone, trying to rake it up. Paul McDonald. That grab by Lucas DeYoung. Lucas DeYoung trying to come his way in. Shot there. And a great save by McDonald. Now Grayshaber brings it up the far wing. Grayshaber getting it ahead to Jove. Jove trying to race over and get it. That tip back. Latch trying to rake it up. Popped up high. Still battling with it. That goes right over midfield, trying to avoid an offside. Now grabbed. Here comes Conley. Conley races and rumbles over midfield. Conley ends up going down hard. That should be a tripping call. Pioneer will go man up, and they'll have possession. I believe Conley and Garcia both linemen on the football team. So IUD Price is going to have that ball just in the midfield area, about 5 yards outside of the offensive zone. I believe he has it there. Indeed. Over. Bradwash for Skyline.
Skyline number 6, Arvin Badwars.
That was called for the tripping penalty. That overside arm shot that fired back, trying to get over to Rogers. Tip back over, and trying to get to it. Now Ganger rakes it up on the far sideline. Ganger underneath the goal line extended. Ganger flips it over to Latch. Latch on the near wing just under the goal line extended. Sends it over to Beaupre. Beaupre back top of the offensive zone to IUD Price. Back to Beaupre on the near wing. Beaupre takes a swim move, trying to get between. Beaupre shot. Good save by Ham. Now trying to make his way through. Latch fires it and in. Latch with a low sidearm shot. And that makes it 5-0 Pioneer at 5:48.
Number 5, Jet Latch.
That's his second of the game.
5:48 remaining in the first quarter.
So Latch with 2 goals and an assist. Timeout call by Skyline. We'll take it with them. So let's talk about the sponsors of Pioneer Men's Lacrosse. Please help support those who help support the team. Platinum sponsors include Gago Specialty Eye Institute, Edwards and Schaefer Orthodontics, Ganger Dermatology, Gold Star Mortgage and Financial Group, Grace Shaber Dentistry, Great Lakes Leadership and Mentoring, Capnick Insurance, Legacy Oral and Facial Surgery Centers, Mirlo Real Estate Partners, Ron's Garage and Venue. Gold sponsors include Adaptive Building Solutions, Allergy and Immunology Associates of Ann Arbor, Anderson Paint, Ann Arbor Made, Ariel Hurwitz Green Real Estate, Buffalo Wild Wings, Bank of Ann Arbor, DeRenzo Dental Care, Dr. Steve Travel, First Martin, Jen Rosenberg Consulting, Lake Forest Golf Club, Linda Forrester Real Estate, PLG Blue Jays, Stadium Hardware, Ufer and Company, and Washtenaw Promise. The silver sponsors include Coach and Four, DK Creative, Relax Station, Underground Printing, and York. Please thank you to all the wonderful sponsors, and please help support those who help support the team. Interesting, Buffalo Wild Wings is sponsored. I've heard they are closing the downtown Buffalo Wild Wings. So the one out by Briarwood's still open, but we appreciate all the wonderful sponsors out there. 5-0 Pioneer with the lead. 5:48 left to go here in the first. If it becomes a 12-goal differential, that only has a running clock happen after halftime. Not that I'm saying that's going to happen. Skyline will definitely have something to say about that. And we did not, because of the quickness between the two games, we did not get to verify pronunciations with Skyline. So please forgive me if I'm murdering anything out there. Crowd continuing to build here. It's hardy folks out here. They don't mind the rain. Ball set. And getting set. Donovan gets it over, rakes it up. Donovan coming down the near wing, flipping it over to Latch. Latch loses his cross, trying to get to it, and able to keep it in somehow. Latch. Oh, an injured player, Donovan, for the second game in a row, ends up down. Again, because it's a high school game, we do not show the players. Donovan took a shot yesterday and had to go to the locker room for a little bit. He came back out. So he played yesterday after that, and he took a big shot here today. So he's a tough kid. He goes off to the sideline. He goes off, coming in for Donovan. That's going to be Beaupre.
Penalty on Skyline, number 11. Mihir Anand. 1 minute for slashing.
So slashing called on and on. He'll take a knee. Pioneer man up. 5-0 is the score. Beaupre has it on the numbers on the near wing. Flips it to Latch and gets it back. Beaupre thought about it. Sends it top of the offensive zone to IUD Price. Over on the far wing to German. Now Ganger sends it back over to Latch. Latch trying to fire it out to Beaupre. Beaupre walled off. Sends it back to IUD Price. Now trying to move it over Miller to German. Now Ganger back over to Latch. Back behind the goal. Latch comes even with the goal, fires it over to Beaupre on the near wing. Beaupre trying to spin away, sends it back to IUD Price at the restraining line. Now Miller moves it over to Ganger on the far wing. Back to Latch, coming up the near side, or far side. Latch Moves over outside the far hash mark, spins in, trying to get in, fires, and Latch puts it in. That's his third goal, a hat trick in the first quarter for Latch.
Pioneer goal by number 5, Jet Lack, third of the game. 4:56 remaining in the first quarter.
So 4:56 left to go in the first, 6-0 Pioneer. As they were able to blank Skyline at Skyline 12-0. They have a bit of a tear going on here. German set to take the faceoff versus Anand. As Donovan recovering over on the bench. Anand rakes it up. Anand coming down the far hash marks into the offensive zone. Anand between the hash marks. Shot. Good save by McDonald. McDonald fires it. As that coming up the far wing is Houston. Houston over the midfield. He loses an edge. Somehow keeps the ball. Now it's knocked away. Battle for it. As coming away with it over on the near wing is Latch. Latch coming down the numbers on the near wing. Latch fires it back over to Ganger on the far wing. Ganger over the goal line extended. Fires it. There's a big save by Ham. Ham back in the crease. Steps back. Ham launches it towards midfield. That grab by Rogers. Rogers comes over midfield. Rogers coming down the near hash marks. Rogers into the offensive zone for Skyline. Rogers steps back into the midfield area. Flips it over to Lucas DeYoung. Lucas DeYoung between the hash marks. He gets a screen. Now moving over. Brad Warsh over to his right. Lon watching Lucas DeYoung. Now that ball comes out with it is Shearer. Shearer down the near wing. Shearer gets it over. Flip back behind. Now Anand sends it up to 29. Moves it back over to 4. 4 back behind the goal line extended. 4. I'm wondering if some of these numbers are a JV roster that I didn't have. Although the JV roster for Skyline had no numbers on it. That over on the far wing to Lucas DeYoung. Lucas DeYoung trying to spin around Mon. Mon walls him off. There's a jump shot and a goal by Lucas DeYoung. Skyline stops a 6-goal run for Pioneer.
Lucas DeYoung, 3:10 remaining in the first quarter.
So that chops off a 6-goal run for Pioneer. Skyline would like to put a goal run together of their own. Pioneer's going to try and look to get right back to it. Houston is going to take the face-off. Lon on the far wing with Bagozzo. On the near wing is Fortune with Rogers. And Anand and Houston get set up. Battle for it. Houston trying to get to it. Houston taking that face-off with a long pole. That comes over, raked up, and Houston gets into the offensive zone. Houston on the numbers on the near wing. Flips that back over to Latch as he had to deal with Nico DeYoung back there. Latch just under the goal line extended on the near wing. Gets it over to Ganger. Ganger flips it back over to Latch on the near wing. Latch goes back behind the goal, spins on the near wing, fires it over to Lon. Lon with a shot. As a goal by Lon. Great bounce shot right in. 2:39.
Remaining in the first quarter.
So his father gets to proudly call that goal out to the stadium. You can hear that pride in his voice. As Pioneer makes sure that Skyline doesn't get a goal run of their own. German back in to take the face off. Believe it's still Anand on the other side. That ball back over. Anand trying to get to it. Anand raking up. That just shows you everyone very good at the face-offs, but Donovan really good as a face-off and get-off player. Fogo. That fired over, getting to it. Miller who puts it up. That's a great save by Ham. Trying to pick it up is Badraj. Back into the midfield area. Ayudi Price takes it as Bagozzo trying to knock that out of his stick. Ayudi Price goes underneath the goal line, extended on the far wing. Goes back behind the goal. Now fires it over to Latch. Latch fakes it with the swim move. Comes in. Shot there. That deflects off to the near side. Pioneer closest to it. They'll keep possession as IUD Price has it in the near corner. 1:58 left to go here in the first. IUD Price on the numbers underneath the goal line, extended all the way back out to Beaupre. Beaupre coming down the numbers towards the goal line. Underneath the goal line extended. Beaupre going from the near side. Gets set up, side steps back behind the goal, now cuts up to the near side. Beaupre shot moves it over. Ganger trying to get to it. Battling with Brad Rosh. Trying to come in. There's a shot coming over. Latch with a shot and a goal. Latch puts it in, top left-hand corner, and that makes it Pioneer 8-1 at 1:30.
Number 5, Jet Latch, with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
Fourth goal by Latch. So 1 minute 30 seconds left to go. Trying to see who is that. Houston again in to take the draw. I think it is. I think he has the long pole, long stick there. Trying to get to that. Houston moves it over. Raked up there as coming down the near wing. Provenzola gets into the offensive zone. Provenzola coming down the numbers. Flips it back over to Latch. Latch back behind the goal line. Extended on the near wing. That on a bounce. Over to Ganger. Ganger trying to make his way. Flips it back. Top of the offensive zone to Provenzola. Back in the midfield area as that's Ryan Edwards. Ryan Edwards goes outside the far hash marks. Ryan Edwards flips it back over to IUD Price right at the restraining line. IUD Price moves it over on the near wing to Provenzola. Provenzola between the hash marks. Now goes over onto the far wing. Gets a good screen. Provenzola sends it back to Ganger. Back to Latch. Latch coming over. Shot! This time top right-hand corner, and Latch puts it in. 43 seconds left to go. Pioneer goal by Latch. That is his 5th goal of the game.
Pioneer goal by number 5, Jet Latch, his 5th of the game, with 43 seconds remaining in the first quarter.
9-1, Pioneer with the lead. Again, if they do have a 12-goal differential, it becomes a running clock in the second half. Paul McDonald now in to take a face-off. He's doing it with the long stick as well, I believe. Battling with an end. Moves it over. Paul McDonald trying to rake it up. That tip back as that'll roll between. Miller trying to get to it. That pulled ahead by Vulicevic. That'll go out the far sideline. Pioneer with the ball. And fired over. Ganger has it on the numbers. Goes underneath the goal line extended. Now Ganger coming down the end line. Ganger coming up over the goal line extended on the near wing. Fires. That deflected out. That ball loose in the middle. Trying to bring it ahead is Bagozo. Bagozo coming up the far wing. Bagozo launches it ahead. That rolls. 29 trying to get to it. Conley trying to pull it away as that'll roll to the sideline. And that will do it for the first.
Pioneer 9, Skyline 1.
At the end of 1, Pioneer 9, Skyline 1, will play a few messages from the MHSAA.
Varsity Lacrosse, and especially the Beaupre fans.
Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Why do high school sports really exist? For 99% of the participants, it's the biggest stage they will ever play on, and it provides the most educational value, teaching sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, hard work, and teamwork. It's about playing with local friends against local rivals and creating lifetime relationships. They build community spirit, and they're worthy of your continued support. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Pioneer going from left to right now here in the second. Houston back in to take the face-off versus Anand. Badwarsh over on the near wing, joined by Jof. On the far wing, Batista and Bagozo. Bagozo nice and wide towards the defensive restraining line. That ball back, raking up and on, trying to come down the far hash marks over midfield and on. Down the numbers, makes it into the offensive zone and on. Trying to cut now, goes back behind the goal line stand, trying a swim move to get out in front. There's a shot, goes wide, closest to it is number 33. As bringing that ahead, here comes Skyline, that ball tipped away as Bradwar's trying to get to it. That will be a whistle, stoppage in play. And it's going to stay Skyline ball. Lucas DeYoung has it on the numbers, top of the offensive zone on the far wing. That's sent back over, screen over there from number 20. As now here comes Pioneer racing down the far sideline. Here comes Houston. Houston makes it over the restraining line, fires it over. Kyle Brady with a shot and a goal. Low shot, puts it in. That at 11-12.
Goal by number 21, Kyle Brady.
So 10-1, Pioneer with the lead. Brady with his first goal of the game. Was interesting updating my Skyline roster. They had a lot more varsity folk last year. This year they have a little thinner roster, although a lot of numbers I don't have, so maybe not. Forgive me to anyone who we don't have their numbers for. Badwarj in to take the face off. Trying to get to it on the other side as that's popped up by German, grabbed over by Bagozo. Bagozo trying to come up the near hash marks over midfield. Bagozo fading over onto the far hash marks. Bagozo moves it ahead. That over to number 20. Skyline has it on the numbers on the far wing. And that's sent back behind the goal line, extended to 33. Skyline fires it back to Lucas DeYoung. Lucas DeYoung has it just outside the far hash marks at the restraining line. Lucas DeYoung waits for folks to get set. Now gets a run. German trying to wall him off. Shot and a goal by Lucas DeYoung. That is his second goal of the game at 10:35.
Skyline goal number 10, Lucas DeYoung, his second of the game. 10:35 remaining in the second quarter.
10-2 is the score. That stops a 4-goal run by Pioneer. Badwarj to take the draw, or take the face-off, excuse me. Is that German again, trying to get the number, I think. Nope, that's Latch. Latch gets the face-off. Latch into the offensive zone, fires it over, shot. Good save as Miller point blank. I think that was a crease violation. So bring it ahead. Badwarj moves it over. trying to get to it. Vulicevic, that grab by Pioneer. Coming down is Miller. Miller spins. Miller, shot and a goal. Miller puts it in at 10-15.
Pioneer goal by number 11, Nolan Miller, with 10:15 remaining in the second quarter.
11-2, Pioneer with the lead. Lon coming over onto the near wing with Rogers. Looks like German's going to take the draw. Now Newman comes over on the near wing. Looks like Lon's going to go onto the far wing. Anon in to take the draw. Lucas DeYoung, the other person on the far wing. Trying to battle. German trying to get to it. German wins the draw. Coming down the numbers on the far wing. German makes his way over the restraining line. German gets outside the numbers, flipping it back over. That rolls over midfield. Racing to rake it up, number 20 for Skyline. He goes down, fires it ahead. That raked up by 33. 33 trying to make his way through. 33 bowls through. That ball knocked down. Frost trying to get to it. Frost trying to rake it up. Frost grabs it, coming down. Frost racing down the near wing. Over midfield. Frost into the offensive zone. Frost just outside the numbers, gets it ahead over to Kyle Brady. Kyle Brady trying to make his way between the hash marks. That popped away, loose on that far wing. Trying to get to it, Miller. Picked up in the midfield area. Well, Bagozo trying to corral it. Ball won't settle down for him. Now Bagozo has it. Over midfield, Bagozo into the offensive zone. Trying to race over, sidearm shot. Man, it's not easy to shoot with those long sticks, and that goes out. Yeah. With it, and sent out to 33 for Skyline, out on the numbers on the far wing. Substitution coming in as, I believe that's Lucas DeYoung. Here's that and. Lucas DeYoung gets it, top of the offensive zone. He has both of the Skyline goals. It's a screen from Brad Raj between the hash marks. Lucas DeYoung shot there and a goal. Lucas DeYoung has the hat trick for himself at 8:50 here in the second.
Goal by number, Skyline goal by number
10, Lucas DeYoung with that goal.
DeYoung at 8:50 in the second quarter. I've done that 3 times.
As now they're getting set and German in to take the face off. Templeton with the long pull over on the near wing with Rogers. Beaupre on the far wing, that with Brad Raj. Trying to get to it, and on has it. Racing outside the hash marks on the far wing, and on. Into the offensive zone, and on the numbers back in the midfield area, and on. Moves it back over Lucas DeYoung, or excuse me, number 20 has it. That fired to 33, back behind the goal. 33. Now shades over, sidestepping down the end line, gets it back over to Shearer. Shearer inside the numbers, fires it back into the midfield area to Lucas DeYoung. Lucas DeYoung right on the restraining line. He's on the far hash marks. Lucas DeYoung trying to fire it around. Templeton watching him. That back over to Anand. Anand between the hash marks in the midfield area. Anand flips it over to 33 on the far wing. 33 on the hash marks, trying to work his way past Garcia. 33 still with it on the numbers on the far wing. Yeah. Looking for a place to go with it. Trying to fake the pass, trying to get past Garcia. He's walled off. Flip back behind over to 20. 20 has it along the end line, moves it over to Shearer. Even with the goal on the near wing. Shearer heads over the goal line extended, fires it back to Lucas DeYoung right at the restraining line. Lucas DeYoung gets a screen, trying to come down the near hash marks. That flipped over, shot by Shearer. That goes out. Closest to it is 33 for Skyline. He ran it out, so that's going to be Skyline ball. 7:24 left to go here in the second. 11-3. Pioneer with the lead. Number 20 has it for Skyline. In along the end line, gets it over to Shearer. On the near wing, Shearer over the goal line extended, just inside the numbers. Shearer makes his way, flips it back into the midfield area for Lucas DeYoung, or excuse me, Anand. Anand trying to come down the far hash marks, walled off by Beaupre. moved over to number 33. So Garcia versus 33 over on that far wing. Garcia walls him off. That's sent back towards midfield. Lucas DeYoung has it. So he comes down the numbers down into the midfield area. Templeton picks him up there. Lucas DeYoung back over to number 33 on the numbers on the far wing, just over the goal line extended. 33 flips it back over to Lucas DeYoung, just top of the offensive zone on that far wing. Move back over to Anand in the midfield area. Anand gets about 5 yards to work. Flips it back over to Lucas DeYoung. Lucas DeYoung just outside the hash marks on the far wing. Back over to Anand. Anand. Whistle. That's going to be Pioneer ball as an off-ball push, I believe. Push with possession causes it. Pioneer up is a shot there. Great shot by Kyle Brady. And a great save by Ham. Bringing it ahead, Bradwash coming the other direction over midfield. Bradwash outside the numbers on the near wing. That picked up by Shearer and out. That is going to be Pioneer ball as Beaupre has it on the near sideline just inside the midfield area. Beaupre takes a stick check, now trying to move his way over midfield. Beaupre running down the near hash marks. Beaupre flips it over to Kyle Brady on the near wing. Kyle Brady spins with it. Kyle Brady just inside the numbers, back into the midfield area to Beaupre. Beaupre gets it over to Ayudi Price. Now over onto the far wing. That's sent back to Ganger. Ganger over to Kyle Brady on the near wing. Kyle Brady sends it back. Top of the offensive zone to Beaupre. Moved over to Ayudi Price. Now over on the far wing to Provenziola. Back to Ayudi Price between the hash marks. And moves it over to Beaupre just outside the near hash marks. Beaupre over the restraining line. Beaupre cuts between the hash marks. Tipped away, trying to knock it down. Grabbed by Bagozzo. Bagozzo the other direction for Skyline. Bagozzo down the near hash marks. Over midfield. Bagozzo flips it. That loose is trying to get to it is Shearer. Trying to rake it up. Ayudi Price avoids a big hit. He's trying to rake it up. Ball won't settle down. Still trying to get to it. Beaupre fires it ahead. And that grab by Kyle Brady. Outside the numbers coming down the near wing. Kyle Brady trying to avoid pressure back over there by Pastoro. Now spinning with it. Kyle Brady feeds it between the hash marks. Shot by Beaupre. That goes just wide. Danger has it on the end line as he ran it out. 4:40 left to go here in the second. 11-3. Pioneer with the lead. Provenziola back over to Beaupre. Now over to Ayudi Price on the near hash marks. That's sent over on the numbers back to the top of the offensive zone. Now to Ayudi Price. Now Beaupre over on the far wing to Provenziola. Provenziola comes between the hash marks trying to get a little room to work. He moves over on the near wing just outside the hash marks. Provenziola goes underneath the goal line extended. 4:12 left to go here in the second. Provenziola and along the end line sets up shot back behind the cage. Provenziola spins with it, goes to the far side. Provenziola. That ball loose into the midfield area. Ayudi Price trying to track it down. He keeps it in. Pioneer maintains possession. Ayudi Price down the far sideline. Flips it back over to Beaupre. Beaupre between the hash marks with about 5 yards outside the offensive zone. Calls out signals. Beaupre just inside the hash marks. Cuts to the near side. Spins with it. Flips it over. Trying to get it to Miller. Wouldn't stay in the cradle. Coming the other direction is here comes Vulicevic. Vulicevic fires it down. That ball loose. 33 trying to track it down for Skyline. Has it back behind the goal. Conley trying to wall him off. Both Conley and Garcia there. That couldn't have felt good. Those two gentlemen sandwiching a person. Coming down the near hash marks. Raked up by Kyle Brady. Kyle Brady coming down the near sideline. Kyle Brady into the offensive zone. Kyle Brady on the numbers. Ball loose. He gets it back. Kyle Brady floats it over the middle over to Miller. Miller back to the restraining line. Miller gets it over to Latch. Latch 10 yards to work outside of the offensive zone. Latch floats it over on the far wing. That just off Fortan's cross. Moving over. That flip back between the hash marks. Here comes down onto the near wing. Wood with a shot that gets deflected out. Run out by Pioneer. Ganger has it on the end line. 2:40 left to go before halftime. 11-3. Pioneer with the lead. Latch back in the midfield area. Over to Wood coming into the restraining line. Wood Gets it over, shot by Kyle Brady, and that goes in. That makes it 12-3, Pioneer with the lead. It's Kyle Brady's second goal. I did not see an assist there.
Pioneer goal by number 21, Kyle Brady, with his second goal of the game, with 2:27 left in the second quarter.
Next set to take the face off, German and Anand. Rogers and Newman over on the near wing. Ethan Brady and Lucas DeYoung on the far wing. Ball loose, German gets it. German racing ahead with it over the restraining line. German sidearm shot, that knocked away by Ham. Picked up, rolled over. That was an excellent defensive play. Trying to get to Rogers, that rolls over midfield and out the near sideline. Pioneer ball. So German will get it on the near sideline with 2:09 left to go before halftime. Pioneer is up by 9. German over midfield. It's been back and forth. Pioneer goal, Skyline goal, Pioneer goal, Skyline goal for the last couple goals here. Either team getting a goal run. Iudi Price has it on the far hash marks, flips it over to German on the near hash marks in the midfield area. German getting a running start, stutter steps, cuts to the near side. German flips it back behind the goal line, extended, dead sent back, top of the offensive zone, over to Ethan Brady. Now German has it on the numbers on the near wing, gets it back behind to Kyle Brady, he spins. Kyle Brady gets it back to German, German sidearm shot, low shot and a goal! Jack German puts his second in, and it's 13-3.
Pioneer goal, number 16, Jack German, his second of the game. 1:32 remaining in the second quarter.
Pioneer gets their first 2-goal run of the second. That makes it a 10-goal differential here with 1:32 before halftime. Timeout call. Let's again talk about the wonderful sponsors of Pioneer Men's Lacrosse. That includes Gago Specialty Eye Institute, Edwards and Schaefer Orthodontics, Ganger Dermatology, Gold Star Mortgage and Financial Group, Reese Shaber Dentistry, Great Lakes Leadership and Mentoring, Capnick Insurance, Legacy Oral and Facial Surgery Centers, Mirlo Real Estate Partners, Ron's Garage and Venue. Gold sponsors includes Adaptive Building Solutions, Allergy and Immunology Associates of Ann Arbor, Anderson Paint, Ann Arbor Made, Ariel Hurwitz Green Real Estate Agent, Buffalo Wild Wings, Bank of Ann Arbor, DiRenzo Dental Care, Dr. Steve Travel, First Martin, Jen Rosenberg Consulting, Lake Forest Golf Club, Linda Forrester Real Estate, PLG Blue Jays, Stadium Hardware, Ufer and Company, and Washtenaw Promise. Silver sponsors are Coach and 4, DK Creative, Relax Station, Underground Printing, and York. 1:32 here as the rain not coming down, but boy, the humidity feels like we're in the Everglades right here. It is moisture in the air, whether it's falling or whether it's just settling on you. All gray clouds out there. Game time temperatures dropped a little bit, 67 degrees. It was about 70 when we first started. Thankfully, it's not too chilly. Nothing worse than super humidity and a cold day. I think some of those spring days colder than a day at the ice rink. So 1:32 left to go here in the second. 13-3. Pioneer with the lead. They'd love to keep the goal run going. Skyline wants to stop the 2-goal run. Latch in to take the face off and on the other side. Badwash over on the near wing with Templeton. Jofa on the far wing with Wilson. As the officials wait, now both gentlemen will get down in the face-off position. Backs away, there's the whistle, and on gets it, and on. Spins with it, coming down the far hash marks, and on. Into the offensive zone for Skyline, and on. Bounce shot, that goes wide, running it out, number 33 for Skyline. He'll rake that up. Coming in the end line. 33 has it. 33 goes back behind the goal. And switches positions with 20. 33 even with the goal on the far wing. 1:08 left to go here and counting before halftime. 33 working against Conley. Conley trying to wall him off. Ball loose. Raked up by Garcia. Garcia flings it ahead to Latch. Latch grabs it on a box. Latch coming down between the hash marks. Fires it ahead. Kyle Brady. And that deflected away by Ham. Kyle Brady runs it out. 47 seconds left to go before halftime. Pioneer with the ball. That moved over onto the near wing. Shot by Latch. That deflects. Ganger closest to it. He'll run it out and rake up a ball over there with 40 seconds left. Ganger sends it back into the midfield area for IUD Price. IUD Price gets a running start over the restraining line. Cuts between the hash marks. Slips it over onto the far wing for Jove. Jove gets it back to IUD Price. IUD Price moves it over to Latch. Latch back over to Jove. Jove spinning with it. Jove a shot. That one saved by Ham. 16 seconds left to go before halftime. 13-3, Pioneer with the lead. Ham bringing it ahead. He flips that over on the near wing to Pastoro. Pastoro moves it ahead. That grab by 33. 33 trying to make it over the restraining line, firing, and that will be halftime. At halftime, it is Pioneer 13 and Skyline 3. Play a few messages from the MHSAA.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the Specialized Sports Parent Support Group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Why do high school sports really exist? For 99% of the participants, it's the biggest stage they will ever play on, and it provides the most educational value, teaching sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, hard work, and teamwork. It's about playing with local friends against local rivals and creating lifetime relationships. They build community spirit, and they're worthy of your continued support. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Can you go anywhere and find an endeavor in society where we've come to accept and tolerate an adult, and even kids, treating another adult the way we allow spectators, coaches, and players to treat a high school game official? Can you? No one has the right to abuse game officials. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation. Fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
If
you're a recent high school or college graduate and still have a passion for the games you played in school, still remember the thrill of putting on the uniform? Why don't you help us out and become a registered high school game official? Get out there and give something back to our kids. Visit the MHSA website for more information. There's help wanted, just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Integrity, commitment, love of the game. These traits describe the people high school sporting events can't start without. The officials. They're out there every day giving back to our kids. Let's give them the respect they deserve. Better yet, why don't you become one? Visit the MHSAA website for more information. There's help wanted. Just whistle. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Where can you find good information on all kinds of topics related to the well-being of our student athletes? Check out the health and safety page of the MHSAA website. Learn about multi-sport participation, heat and hydration, cardiovascular resources, as well as insurance benefits available for our students. It's all on the health and safety page of MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You're hearing it. The message is getting through to parents. Multi-sport athletes get injured less. Multi-sport athletes become better in their primary sport in the long run. And even though it's not why we play our games, multi-sport athletes are now getting recruited more than specialized athletes. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
You have to wonder sometimes how folks in the stands, so far removed from the action and who have probably never had any training, actually think they can see the play and apply the rules better than the officials assigned to a game. If you're that good, please register immediately at MHSAA.com. We need more officials on the playing surface and fewer in the stands. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Think of a high school game as a 4-lane highway. Coaches, players, officials, and spectators, each with their own lane. Sportsmanship depends on everyone not crossing over the line. Fans keep it between the lines when they cheer positively for their team. So don't cause an accident. Stay in your lane and let the coaches, players, and officials do their jobs. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Michigan Power Ratings will be used this year in soccer, basketball, and boys lacrosse to seed the district tournament in those sports, and you can follow along. Visit your school's page on the MHSAA website to see how your team is faring, and you can look at statewide lists as well. And if you see your team is missing a score, submit it. Learn more about the Michigan Power Rankings at MHSAA.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Have we gotten to the point where at some high school game that an official has finally had enough from coaches, players, and adults, pulls off the whistle, and offers it to you? Let's hope not. There's no way you could do a better job. It's on everyone to promote good sportsmanship. So before you blurt something out about that next close call, consider this. Without the officials, nobody wins. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
As we are coming back from halftime, 13-3. If Pioneer scores 2 unanswered goals, we will have a running clock situation here. On a rainy, humid day, all the umbrellas out.
Number 11, Nahir Anon, and Nick Houston for the Pioneers.
Nick Houston, again, a former goalie for Pioneer hockey. Trying to take that face off with the long stick. That raked up by Bagozo. Bagozo coming down the near hash marks. I think he played hockey for Skyline, I believe. Loses an edge. That raked up. Tipped. Lawn almost had it. That grabbed. Coming ahead with it is Frost. Frost loses it. Tips it away. That raked up by Houston. Houston. That one gets lost. Grabbed and now trying to make his way through. Coming down Provenzola. Provenzola comes down the numbers. Makes a swim move. That knocked away as he's surrounded by 4 Skyline players. Number 50 has it. Moves it over on the near wing. That tipped away from Rogers, and that will go out the near sideline. So Pioneer has the ball. Provenzola on the near sideline with 11:24 left to go here in the third. And shot over is McDonald just outside of his crease. 32 comes over to provide pressure. Fired ahead by Omari, rolls into the offensive zone, but that's raked up over there by Nico DeYoung. Gets it over to Ham. Ham feeds it out. Picked up by Badraj. Now over onto the near sideline. Out the near sideline. Pioneer ball. Ethan Brady has it on the near sideline for Pioneer. Ethan Brady gets it over to Lon. Lon coming down the numbers on the near wing. Lon into the offensive zone for Pioneer. Lon gets it over and grabbed, fired the other direction. At by Saran. Over on the far wing, sent back behind by Ganger over to Lon. Lon goes down. That's going to be a tripping call. Ball loose. Skyline touches it. And Pioneer will be man up. 10:24 left to go here in the third. Trying to get the number. As it looks like it's Nico DeYoung who's taken the tripping penalty. He'll take a knee. As Beaupre has it in the offensive zone. Gets it over to Ayudi Price, top of the offensive zone. Move back behind. Latch with a shot. That saved and fired in. Goal!
Pioneer goal, number 5, Jet Latch, man up goal. At 10:15 remaining in the third quarter.
So 10:15, Latch gets another goal. That is his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Not yet. Oh, not yet. One more? Oh, sorry. For some reason I thought it was 15.
So,
I thought we hit it is on Friday afternoon.
no, he's just awesome on the scoreboard really quick.
No, this is why I'm not running it. It's really fast too.
Set and on in to take the draw versus Houston. Houston trying to get to it. He's walled off. That raked up by Bagozo. Bagozo sends it over to Rogers. Tipped off of his cross. Out. And it's going to get caught in the gate. Trying to pull that out of there. Fortin has it on the near wing. Fortin. That ball loose and out. That's going to be Skyline's ball now. So Rogers will rake it up and head the other direction at 10:04. 14-3, 11-goal lead for Pioneer. Rogers into the offensive zone, then steps back. Over on the far wing, Lucas DeYoung. He has all 3 Skyline goals. That ball locked away. Rogers trying to get to it before it goes over midfield. Moved away. Nice job by both teams to avoid a offside. That knocked down and grabbed by Ham. Ham in his crease. Floats it all the way ahead. That bounces over. Trying to knock it down is Frost in a valiant attempt. He goes hard into the fence but holds himself up. That's going to be Skyline ball. 9:27 left to go here. Lucas DeYoung on the near sideline. Lucas DeYoung over, coming down the numbers on the near wing in the offensive zone. He comes even with the goal on the near side. Lucas DeYoung trying to make his way between the hash marks. Jump shot, that one goes just wide. Run out by number 50, that will be Skyline ball. 9:12 left to go here in the third. That ball grabbed on the run, flipped up to Rogers, top of the offensive zone. Rogers steps over the restraining line. Rogers trying to feed it, that off the tip of the cross by number 50. He gets it on a bounce, 50, even with the goal on the far wing. Sends it back to Rogers, back in the midfield area. Anand has it between the hash marks. Anand trying to come down, gets a screen, racing down the near hash marks, trying to cut in. Shot there, deflected wide. And I think that was a crease violation, Pioneer ball. Houston has it in his own defensive zone. Houston flips it over onto the near wing. Lon gets it. Lon outside the numbers over midfield. Lon heads into the offensive zone, spins there. Lon heading between the hash marks, makes another move, comes in. That tipped away, checked away. Rogers has it. Now that knocked away. Lon gets it back. Lon into the midfield area. Lon just outside the near hash marks. That moved over to Ganger. Ganger with a shot. Big time save by Ham there. 8:09 left to go. Ham outside of his crease. He'll fire it down over on the far side on a bounce, trying to get to that. What is that number, 87? 32, excuse me. And over Frost gets it on a hop. Frost trying to avoid a pair of attackers, trying to move over. Amari now gets it over to McDonald. McDonald back behind his goal. McDonald coming ahead with it. I don't think we've seen a goalie actually get into the offensive zone since Jackson Roberts. Frost had it, knocked away, battle with number 32. Whistles there as that's going to be Skyline ball. 32 has it between the hash marks. 7:30 left to go here in the third. Bad rush into the offensive zone, gets it back over. 32 gets it to Lucas DeYoung. Lucas DeYoung has Anand back behind him. Now Lucas DeYoung outside the far hash marks. Steps back, top of the offensive zone, loses it, but gets it back before Batista can challenge him for it. Ball back behind the goal line extended. Shearer has it. Shearer trying to cut on the far side over the goal line extended. Shearer with a shot that goes wide. And Lund with a great run out gets that ball for Pioneer. 6:50 left to go. Lund gets it over to McDonald. McDonald coming down the far hash marks. McDonald spins with it, trying to get around 32. McDonald and lost away. Frost trying to get to it. Frost trying to use his body to protect that ball. He flips it over. Whistle there. So that ball, Anand has it. Anand over to Lucas DeYoung. Lucas DeYoung over the restraining line. Fires it to Shearer. Shearer goes over the goal line extended on the far wing. Shearer underneath the goal line extended. Now trying to cut back over. Omari watching him. Then sent over and on. Gets it on a hop. And on. Trying to stutter step between the hash marks. That tipped away by Frost. Loose. Raked up by Houston. Houston trying to avoid pressure back there by Badraj. Houston still down the near hash marks into the offensive zone as an on. Trying to knock that away. Houston spins with it. Trying to get in with that long cross. Popped up loose. And grabbed by Pastoro. Excuse me. It's a flag. So Amir Anand will take a knee, Pioneer man up. IUD Price has it at the restraining line. That fired over. Beaupre has it on the near hash marks. Back to Latch, back over to Beaupre on the near wing. That top of the offensive zone to IUD Price. Now over on the far wing to German. German gets it over to Ganger, back over to Latch. Latch back behind the goal. Latch feeds it over to IUD Price. That over to Miller. Now back to IUD Price. IUD Price over on the far wing. And back to Ganger, back behind. Latch has it, even with the goal. Fired over. IUD Price with a shot. Latch closest to it. Pioneer ball. It was a slashing call. They put it on over to take a knee. 5:02 left to go here in the third. Latch over to Beaupre on the near wing. Top of the offensive zone to IUD Price as that one grabbed by Ham. Ham launches it down the field. Gets it to number 32. 32 for Skyline, trying to stutter step and come ahead with it. 32 gets it over to Rogers. That off the tip of his cross, out of bounds. Pioneer ball. Beaupre will have it. 4:40 left to go here in the third. Beaupre heads over, spins over midfield. Beaupre, he goes down. Ball raked up by Rogers, heads the other direction. Rogers ends up going into Beaupre. That ball loose. German trying to get to it. As German trying to rake it up. Still battling, popped up high. Almost grabbing it was Grieshaber. Now Frost has it. Frost moves it over to German. German trying to get around Shearer. German coming down the far numbers over midfield. German down the far sideline, gets it over Beaupre off the tip of his cross, grabbed there by Miller. Miller, top of the offensive zone, gets it back to Beaupre. Beaupre trying to get that goal, and he fires it in. Beaupre makes it 15-3, 12-goal differential now.
Pioneer goal by number 2, Will Beaupre. Second of the game with 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
So Beaupre's second turns us to a running clock right after the face-off. Four minutes left in the third. We will not be able to broadcast the soccer game tomorrow, but women's soccer, varsity soccer, is playing at 11:30 tomorrow. Come on down to Hallway Field. Hopefully we can get their next game. Next game we plan on having is Monday, Huron versus Pioneer men's varsity lacrosse. That ball raked up, coming ahead with it into the offensive zone is Paul McDonald. Paul McDonald underneath the goal line extended. Paul McDonald in along the end line. Paul McDonald flips that over to Kyle Brady. Kyle Brady over to Provenziola. Now that flipped over to 410. Lon with a shot and a goal. His second of the game.
Pioneer goal, number 9, Ryan Line. 3:29 remaining in the third quarter, running clock.
So running clock there. (16-3), Pioneer with the lead as that clock continues to run. German in versus an on. As that ball raked up by Bagozzo, knocked away. Here comes German over the down the numbers. Now Kyle Brady gets it back to German on the numbers on the far wing. German gets it over to Latch. Latch over the straining line on the near hash marks. Latch sends it back over to Provenziola. Provenziola over on the far wing and to Kyle Brady. Kyle Brady back to German on the far wing, and now that flipped over to Saran. Latch coming down the near hash marks. Latch fires it. That tipped away by Ham. Provenziola rakes it up. 2:15 left to go here in the third. Fired to Kyle Brady on the far wing. Sent back into the midfield area. German coming down the far hash marks. German trying to get over the goal line extended. German now fires it out in front to Latch. Latch thought about it. Gets between the hash marks. Sidearm shot. That one tipped high by Ham. Provenziola closest to it. Provenziola in along the end line. 1:50 left to go here in the third. Provenziola over to Latch. Latch making his way over Fired to German. German down the far hash marks. German sidearm shot and a goal. That's German's third goal of the game at 1:33.
Pioneer goal by number 16, Jack German, with 1:25 remaining in the third quarter.
17-3, Pioneer with the lead. Again, clock continues to run down to 1:15 and counting. Paul McDonald will take the face-off versus Anand. Badwaj over on the near wing with Lon. Far wing is Bagozo and can't quite tell. That ball loose. Anand has it. Coming over, trying to knock that away is Bautista. And it's down, raked up by Bagozo. As Paul McDonald ends up kind of falling on top of him. And it's going to be Skyline ball, 30 seconds left to go here in the third. That ball, Lucas Dion brings it over on the far wing. Lucas Dion fires it to Shearer. Shearer has it, heads towards the top of the offensive zone. 15 seconds left to go in the third. Shearer over to Anand. Anand calls out signals. Anand cutting down the near hash mark, shot there. Good save by McDonald, and that will do it. That is the third. We will head into the fourth with a running clock in just a moment, as it is 17-3, Pioneer with the lead.
Family, school, and student volunteers to make these games.
Maybe you've seen the videos of the Specialized Sports Parent Support Group, or the kid holding a press conference to announce his retirement from sports. The problem is, they'd be really funny if there wasn't a lot of truth there. Multi-sport participation provides a healthier experience and lifestyle for kids and families. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. Sportsmanship is still relevant in school sports. Good sportsmanship should be a given at our games. It's one of the primary reasons we have school sports to begin with, to help today's young people become tomorrow's community leaders. You can learn more about sportsmanship and download a full kit of sportsmanship ideas from the MHSAA website at mhsaa.com. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Why do high school sports really exist? For 99% of the participants, it's the biggest stage they will ever play on, and it provides the most educational value, teaching sportsmanship, ethics, integrity, hard work, and teamwork. It's about playing with local friends against local rivals and creating lifetime relationships. They build community spirit, and they're worthy of your continued support. A message from the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
Meadow is now in goal for Pioneer. Pioneer going from left to right here in the fourth. German in to take the face-off versus Anand. 12 minutes up on the clock. Again, running clock here for the fourth. That ball loose, trying to rake it up. Over on the near wing, Anand has it. Now Lon providing pressure, Anand trying to get away from pressure. Anand over midfield, coming down between the hash marks. Anand into the offensive zone. Anand outside the numbers on the far wing, fires it back behind. Vulicevic has it in the far corner. Vulicevic flips it over to Shearer, intercepted by Omari. Omari coming ahead with it. That ball tipped out of his long pole and trying to rake it up, grabbed, and coming ahead with it is German. German over midfield. German outside the numbers into the offensive zone. German now trying to feed it in front to Miller. That ball over, raked up, grabbed by incoming Jof on a substitution. Gets it to Lon. Lon at the restraining line. Lon takes a stick check, gets it back. Lon floats it in front. Kyle Brady with a low underhand shot and a goal.
Pioneer goal, number 21, Kyle Brady, his third of the game. At 10:50 remaining in the fourth quarter.
(18-3). Pioneer with the lead. And on in to take the draw versus Houston. Ball set right at the midfield stripe. Jofa on the near wing with Rogers. Bagozo on the far wing. Ball loose. Fortin trying to get to it. Raked up by Houston. Houston feeding it ahead. Grabbed by Kyle Brady. Kyle Brady on the numbers on the near wing. Gets it over. Jof with a shot and a goal. Jof puts it in at 9:50.
Pioneer goal by Owen Joffrey, number 24, with 9:37 remaining in the fourth quarter. First of the game.
Jof with his first goal of the game.
I swear, from the older sister back in Pioneer hockey, like 8 years ago, they were telling me. I think, or there's a Joe Finn. Huh, okay. My bad. I will correct it. I'm not saying I'm not wrong. It happens a lot. Oh, it's Ibrahim, not Omari. Okay.
Skyline has it, 8:43 left to go, and on coming down the hash marks on the far wing. Trying a swim move, tipped away, loose. Raked up on the near wing by Shearer. Shearer heads towards the top of the offensive zone between the hash marks. Shot there and a goal by Shearer at 8:27.
Skyline goal number 2, Noah Shearer. 8:20 remaining in the fourth quarter.
That snaps a 8-goal run by Pioneer. And on setting up, Newman on the near wing. Looks like Ryan Edwards on the far wing with Von Roche. Battle for it. German racing to get to it. Loose. Plucked it out of midair. Here comes German. Down the far numbers. German into the offensive zone. Steps back into the midfield area. German floats it over. And grab by Saran. Saran comes over on the near hash mark. Saran over to Ryan Edwards. Ryan Edwards right at the restraining line. Ryan Edwards flips it back, trying to get to it. That out of bounds. That is going to be on a pass. That's going to be Skyline ball. Pasturo has it on the end line as we're under 7 minutes left to go here in the fourth. 19-4, Pioneer with the lead. Ham launches it as the Hail Mary ball all the way down. Grabbed by Shearer. Great pluck out of midair. Shearer between the hash marks, stops. He wants a 2-goal run for Skyline. Moved over on the near wing. That brought ahead by Vulicevic. Vulicevic sends it back into the midfield area. Rogers with it there. Rogers flips it over to Anand. Anand on the far numbers. Anand gets it over to Lucas DeYoung on a hop. Newman trying to get to it. Still loose and out the far sideline. That is going to stay Skyline ball. As we are approaching halfway through the fourth quarter, ball set back to Anand, now over to Rogers between the hash marks. Rogers goes over the restraining line. Lon working against him, shot there, that deflected out. Vulicevic closest to it. Ball over to Shearer. Shearer inside the numbers on the near wing, heading towards the top of the offensive zone. Shearer cuts across the restraining line. Shearer flips it over on the far wing, trying to make his way in. Shot by Lucas DeYoung, and a goal. Lucas DeYoung with his fourth goal of the game.
Skyline goal number 10, Lucas DeYoung, his fourth of the game. 5:20 remaining, fourth quarter.
The goal by Shearer, the last goal by Skyline, was the first one that was not by Lucas DeYoung. So we're hitting towards the 5-minute mark. As the wind picks up, Newman again and Bagozo down on the near wing. Anand and German in to take the draw. Fortin and Rogers on the far wing. Ball set, there's the whistle. Anand has it, racing between the hash marks into the offensive zone. Anand trying to fire it. As that shot wide, that's going to be Pioneer ball. Nice job. It's Meadows and Ibrahim racing out to run that out. Garcia has it on the end line. Garcia gets it over to Meadow. Meadow launches it down. Meadow, that intercepted Anand with a really good pick there. Anand coming down the numbers on the far wing. Anand into the offensive zone. Anand. As that ball tipped away, popped up by Fortin. Fortin trying to get to it on the far sideline. Anand has it, trying to swim out of trouble. As that's plucked from midair by Frost. Frost racing ahead with it into the midfield area. Frost has it knocked away, looking to get it back, but that raked up by Shearer. Shearer down the near sideline into the offensive zone for Skyline. 3:50 left to go. That fired over is just out of the reach of Bedrosh. That will be Pioneer ball as Fortin has it on the far sideline. Fortin coming down the far sideline. Lucas DeYoung trying to knock that away out of bounds. That is going to be Skyline ball. Badraj has it, coming down the far sideline into the offensive zone, just outside the numbers. Jofi going to try and mark him. Ball loose on the ground. Jofi gets it. Jofi outside the numbers on the far wing. Jofi trying to get around Lucas DeYoung. Jofi on that far sideline trying to not get knocked out over midfield. Spins with it. Jofi coming down the numbers into the offensive zone. Finally tipped away by Bagozo. Trying to get it back. Loose ball raked up by Rogers but poked away. Still trying to grab it. Now spinning with it. Badraj over on that far sideline. And there's a flag with 2:41 left to go. It's a bit of a melee over there. Trying to rake up that ball. And it looks like Jofi's going to take a knee. Timeout called. That'll actually stop the clock. At 2:11.
Timeout called on the field.
So we'll play a little push shot and be right back with your final 2 minutes, 11 seconds.
Health concerns in high school sports go beyond physical injuries. The mental well-being of our young people is a hotter topic than ever before. The Michigan High School Athletic Association website has resources to help adults and students recognize potential problems and deal with them in a positive way. You can learn more about these mental health resources on the Health and Safety page of the MHSAA website. A message from the MHSAA promoting the value and values of educational athletics.
So it's a 1-minute non-releasable penalty, cross-check to the head.
Pioneer penalty on number 24, Owen Joffe, with a cross-check to the head, unreleasable 1 minute.
Into the offensive zone, Skyline has it. Vulicevic trying to float it over to Badraj. That goes out the end line. That's going to be Pioneer ball. 1:55 left to go. Garcia has it. Or no, excuse me, forgive me. I thought Skyline with it. They'll call that a shot, not a pass. Down, Vulicevic with it on the numbers. Vulicevic sends it. Lucas DeYoung rakes it up in the midfield area. Lucas DeYoung over the restraining line. Whistle outside of the play and off-ball penalty. That'll be Pioneer ball. 1:25 left to go here. As that ball sent on the near wing to Kyle Brady. Kyle Brady gets it back at the restraining line. Lon sends it right back behind over to Provenzolo. Provenzolo gets it to Ethan Brady. Ethan Brady over on that far wing. Tipped. Grabbed by Wood. Wood in the midfield area. Wood over to Lon. Lon. Over, 55 seconds left to go. German has it underneath the goal line, extended on the near wing. German. Pioneer in no hurry, 19-5, 14-goal lead for Pioneer. Clock continues to run. Provenzolo back behind the goal. Provenzolo trying to get around Nico DeYoung. Provenzolo up over the goal line, extended on the far wing. 30 seconds left. Provenzolo back into the midfield area. Provenzolo gets about 5 yards to work, flips it over to Kyle Brady. Grab, shot, and in by Ethan Brady.
Pioneer goal by number 19, Ethan Brady, with 13 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter.
So Ethan Brady putting the frosting on the cake of this crosstown win. Pioneer has beaten Skyline and Huron. They have swept Skyline now. They'll look to sweep Huron on Monday. Final score, 20-5. Pioneer with the win. I want to thank my camera person, Christina Wiseman. My name is Mark Wiseman. We will be back. Can't do the soccer game tomorrow, but we will be back on Monday for Huron versus Pioneer Men's Varsity Lacrosse. Thank you very much for your support of either of these two teams. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend.